All right, we are live. Hello. We are here. Well, welcome in, Sweet Juicy. Hello. How are you doing today? Well, Power Wash Simulator is still installed. That's good. Good? That's good. 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 Keep saying good. Yeah, Power Wash Simulator is still installed, so whatever issue I had is no longer there. So, I guess we'll just open it up. Start playing. I do have a tea I need to drink, but otherwise, I'm ready to go. Again, we'll be doing 2 hours of Power Wash Simulator and then 2 hours of Skyrim. Remington? Hey. I'm gonna get that butt. Alright. The cat is in front of the cat clone is in front of the screen. So I have to wait for him to move. And of course, give him some pets and scritches to kind of entice him. No. You stay out of there. Yeah, what you gonna do now, besides get pets? Remington. Rammy. No, get out of there. Get out of there. Hi, buddy. What do you want? Sorry, we have to pay the cat tax. The cat puts himself in front of the screen, so I must pet him. Remington. Hi, buddy. Come on. I need you to move. I need you to move, little guy. Can you lay down? What are you doing? Yeah. What you doing? He's not really in the way anymore. Just he's being cute, so I have to pet him still. All right, let's get started. This is several stages ago. But the game is fun, so I don't really have a problem with continuing. It's just I didn't really feel like continuing yesterday. Because it's like all the technical issues all at once. And then the shitty cherry on top of the shitty ice cream was I lost a lot of progress. Like, I don't even think I have the that's the wrong thing. I don't even think I have the new power washer. I do. Okay. Do I have the modifications, power washers, equipment? Okay. Well, I guess we just get started. I will need to take a break not break, but like, I will need to take some time to drink my tea very soon. In fact, we're gonna do this properly. Where's the ladder? There it is. And by do this properly, I mean we are gonna start from the top and go to the bottom. It really sucks because I lost all that progress, which meant that the final upgrade piece, the turbo 3-tip nozzle. The 3-tip turbo nozzle I no longer have. And that sucks because I unlocked it. Well, I believe I have to unlock it, like, by doing stuff, and then I have to buy it. Which is, like, doubly shitty. Not shitty design, just, you know, I lost that progress, so it's doubly shitty that I have to, you know, now reacquire. Get out of there, leave it alone. Leave it. Remy, that is enough. I'm not gonna have to yell at you all stream. I said leave it. I seriously have to hide all the wires from him, because otherwise he'll just chew on them all. Leave it. I said leave it. Cat troubles, I see. Yep. No. Leave it alone. Why do you gotta do this? Hmm? You know it's bad. If you don't behave, I'm going to have to move you. Leads me to believe the only reason he likes to lay in this spot is so that he can chew on wires. You need to leave it alone. Now I have to monitor him, because otherwise if I just start playing the game again, he's just going to start chewing again. Give you some pets, though. To know that I'm not really being mean. I just don't want you to break my stuff. Yeah. Alright. It's like it's of course that the dirt is in the crevice that's not easily accessible. Wonder if I have to use the turbo nozzle. Probably do. And by turbo nozzle, I mean the 0-degree nozzle. Because I don't have the turbo nozzle for this thing. There we go. Alright, let's have that tea. We're gonna have a tea and a chat. That's a good boy, Remy. See, you can lay there without chewing on stuff. I would have coffee, but my throat is not very happy today. Probably from all the talking I did yesterday. So I'm having tea with honey. I hope everyone's doing okay today. got my hand on my cat. Isn't that right, Remy? I don't know what it's like outside right now, but the last 2 days it was warm and rainy. Warm being relatively warm, since it was like 40-ish degrees Fahrenheit. But it was warm enough to rain, so it rained. Woke up this morning, wasn't that cold, but I like whatever. I'm gonna open a window because I figured it would be warm today since that's what it was doing the last 2 days. And the pavement was wet when I looked outside, and hit the 60s yesterday. Very nice. And then like within the matter of like an hour or two, the temperature dropped significantly. So I'm like, oh, I gotta shut the window now. And it's pretty much as soon as I got up to shut the window, I noticed that we were in the middle of a heavy snowstorm. And I don't know if it's still doing that. Not gonna get up and check either. Too lazy. But yeah, we're experiencing some winter weather after having kind of fall weather. Just kind of out of nowhere, too. And because it is cold in the apartment today, I am all wrapped up in a couple blankets, so if I had my camera on, I would look a little silly. And again, I always look pretty silly. Other streamers have their bisexual gaming lighting. I can joke about that since I'm bi. They have their bisexual gaming lighting and proper depth of field and good focus, good image quality, and they're all like prim and proper. They did their hair. They're wearing like good clothes. And like everything is very clean and colorful. And then if I had my camera on, it would be grainy. No neat depth of field thing. You would see my dirty apartment, and I would be covered in a blanket. So very silly. And I don't so much care about my appearance on stream. This is Luz speaking, by the way. Remy is taking a break. If I had my camera on, you'd also see a dirty old man. Hi, Big Hattie. Welcome in. But, no, I just find it pretty silly that other streamers are, like, making sure they look good, and I just kind of show up in a dirty t-shirt, hair all messy and greasy, haven't shaved in a week, covered in a blanket in a messy apartment. It's pretty silly. Welcome in, Devilbird. Hello. How are you doing, friend? And LJ as well. That's one thing is, the natural lighting in my apartment from just outside is both, thankfully, quite abundant, and also meaning I can't really get decent lighting if I were to use a webcam. And I do have a functioning webcam, it's just I'm choosing not to use it. If I had my camera on, you'd see your sunburnt face. That's why you're a PNG tuber, don't have to care about how you look. And that's just it. I don't really care about how I look. I'm just kind of riffing on it. We're having tea, by the way. That's where we're not doing any Power Watt Simulator currently. I was out doing photo shoots yesterday. Ooh. Were you being photographed, or were you doing the photographing? Remy is, of course, laying on the desk. The Remy clone. Oh, it is... My legs are starting to warm up. It has been a nasty kind of day for weather. You're too pretty to hide. You are. Photographing. I see. Thankfully, I never had to learn about... Weirdly enough, in my graphic design course, I learned almost next to nothing about photography. I mean, I guess in a most basic sense, you really don't need photography for graphic design, but you'd think it would help. Been working nonstop since you got home, basically. It was 70 degrees yesterday. Yeah, in my part of the world, it's fairly cold right now. I mean, it is February, so I would kind of expect it to be. But like I said, the last 2 days were like 40 degrees Fahrenheit, and it was raining. And then all of a sudden today, it was just a surprise snowstorm. Being cold and everything. And this isn't me complaining. I'm changing the subject, by the way. This isn't me complaining. This is just kind of observing the YouTube algorithm. But I find it a little weird, especially since it kind of came out of nowhere, that not the most recent VOD upload, because that was shared this morning. The one before that, just kind of in a matter of like 6 hours, got just 150 views, and I'm like, wait, what? Okay. But then the video that I took time to edit, that took 6 hours to edit, got significantly less views, and that's not really a complaint. I don't expect my burgeoning YouTube career to kick off immediately, but I just find it. I'm just observing that the algorithm is strange. I'm more like bewildered that particular VOD upload got 150 views in a matter of hours, just kind of out of nowhere. It's been super windy here today, luckily not too cold, just above freezing. This is the only time Arizonans get to brag. Delicious weather. Well, I'm sure being 70 degrees in Arizona is nice and crisp. Nice and chilly. Compared to what you usually get. The algorithm is strange. It must have been put in as the next video so for someone's autoplay. Probably. Alright, now we can continue the power washing. In fact, I probably only need this one while on the roof. Also, you probably have seen me do this level before, and my answer to that is, I have. But Steam fucked something up, and now I've lost a ton of progress, which is not a big deal since the game is fun to play, and I was considering that when I finish the game, that I would delete my save data and start all over again, so this isn't that big of a deal. It's just yesterday I didn't want to do it, because I was still coming off the white-hot anger of technical issues, and I'm like, I'm not dealing with this right now. We're playing Skyrim. And even then, I still had to download Skyrim, even though I know it was downloaded and installed, especially since the files were there. So it's kind of like, oh, this is very, very frustrating. Okay, where's the dirt? Is it, like, over here? There we go. It's been 35, 40 degrees in the morning. I mean, I'm not that knowledgeable when it comes to the desert, but doesn't the desert get cold anyways? Like when it's nighttime? Although I'm assuming it wouldn't really take that long for it to warm up in the mornings. Guess I gotta take this uber slow around the nuts and bolts. There we go. Maybe there's like rust on the bolts, and it's hard to take off without soap. We have very large temperature swings between day and night. Yes, it warms quickly. I see. All I know is the hottest temperatures I've been in, relatively speaking, was in a semi-arid area in North Dakota. And summers were very dry. I mean, we'd still get rain and thunder, all that in summer, but otherwise it's very dry. So even if it was like 95 degrees, it would still be quite tolerable. But Arizona gets like up to much hotter temperatures. There we go. So even if it is dry in Arizona, it still can get to be like insanely hot temperatures. Okay, we gotta switch. Our temperatures aren't that extreme, but the delta is huge between winter and summer, so you never get used to it. You have been in 120 plus. It was horrid. Yeah. Yeah, that's that's like be outside and cook kind of temperature. I guess it's the opposite of what I'm normally used to, where it's like be outside and freeze to death in a few minutes. And by cook, I'm using that term as a what's the word? Hyperbole. I get like people don't actually fry in that temperature. It's very, very hot. And I would rather take 90 degrees dry than 85 degrees humid, because in my part of Wisconsin, it actually gets quite humid. You bake cookies on your dash? Well, there's a use for it. Oh. That looks like that one temple we did before. Is that really on fire? Or is that just the volcano looking strange, like in this spot? Because the lore of this game is there's a volcano, and everything gets covered in soot, which is why usually the dirt is just black smears. It can get up to 95 degrees Fahrenheit in the summer here, which isn't extreme to someone from a hot climate. But it is when you've been getting used to negative 38 Fahrenheit. Yeah. It can get that hot here with humidity, and I'm sure it's plenty humid in Finland. What with being, you know, all those lakes and forests and all that. But our winter temperatures normally don't usually get that cold except on extreme weather days. Like, it can get that cold, it's just usually it's not. Oh, hold on. Why can't I stand up? There we go. Now, in my part of North Dakota, when I lived there, was on average fairly cold. And one freak weather day, it got as cold as negative 89 degrees Fahrenheit. And I had to walk to school because it was so cold that cars just didn't start. And when my dad actually got his truck started, and that's only because the thing had a manual choke, which he always liked about that truck. Like, he had to go to work, and then the other vehicle just wouldn't start, so we had to walk. Granted, it was like we were basically right next to the school. We just had to walk down the alley and then walk along the track, the sports track field, and then we would be at the school. So not that big a deal. Still, this is temperatures where you can freeze to death in a matter of minutes. And I remember they had to be like, oh, you can't be outside for pre-start recess, like recess before school actually starts. You have to go inside immediately, and this poor teacher had to stand outside and tell kids, hey, go inside. It's like, this poor teacher just had to be out there. And I mean, they had to, because they can't let the kids just be outside and play, and then next thing you know, you find them. Let's see here. Humid cold and humid heat are the worst. It can be. Humidity makes any temperature feel worse. Block heaters for the win. Recess, if you will. Well, at least in Wisconsin, I can't speak on anywhere else. At least in Wisconsin, the winters tend to be quite dry. I mean, there are times when we get quite wet winter precipitation, like wet snow, and wet snow is a bitch to shovel because it's heavy. Just making sure we're getting all the things. But usually it's quite dry in my part of the world during winter, and the reason I know that is I tend to get many, many, many more nosebleeds in winter than summer. And sometimes I'll just get a nosebleed because I just woke up for the day and my nose is all clogged up. So I go to blow my nose and then, oh, you got a nosebleed. I'm like, oh, great. Thanks, body. Thank you. Thank you for doing that, body. I have to, like, get under it? Yep. There we go. Yeah, it's always funny when, growing up we had to shovel snow, because it'd be, like, extreme amounts of snow, and because the snow plows have to plow the road, we'd be shoveling the sidewalk, the snow plow would come plow the road, and then next thing we know, where we just shoveled is now covered in plowed snow. So I was like, oh, cool. Worse yet if that is, again, heavy, wet snow. Gotta get back to work. I'll keep you tabbed. Maybe see you next break. Alrighty. Enjoy work. Hopefully they don't work you too hard. We will see you around. Is that clean? Yes, it is. Okay. And I realized that, changing subjects yet again, I realized that currently as a DM, I'm finding myself like, oh, like, this is actually somewhat easier to manage due to my experience in how to run games, especially since online might be a little bit easier to manage just because I can type things instead of write things, because I could just put it on my phone or I could put it on my laptop, but I don't have a working laptop and my phone has limited space. So I can't, like, if it was an IRL campaign, I would have to, like, write things down physically. Where online, I can just type it out fairly quickly. And since I can also spend a lot more time on the computer typing than I can writing, I can create stuff and with my experience that I have, I can be like, well, this I don't want to like write out like word for word what's going to happen, because what if the players do something else? I don't want to force the players into doing something that's railroading, and that's bad. What if I just write some general outlines and you know, maybe some brainstormed concepts that if the players do something, that maybe I can account for it through improv. And I'm finding that as a DM, my experience is kind of paying off, and that I'm really enjoying running the campaigns I'm running. Welcome in, Kitty. Hello. Gonna ask your doctor about the treatment. If your memory comes back, you'll get treatment, but if it doesn't, you won't get treatment for the cyst. I'm not gonna offer medical advice, because I am not a doctor. I just hope that you can get what you want resolved to be resolved. So I wish you good luck in that. I'm just not gonna try to offer medical advice when I am not mentally equipped to do so. Plus, I don't have any qualifications, so you shouldn't listen to me anyways. Okay, I think it's time for the long extension. Okay, now I gotta get the extra long, so I'm glad I bought it. I'd have to move the ladder. Come on, give me the ladder. Okay. Next up, I guess, is the fascia. Waited long enough to get disability. I'm not going to stop until you get it. If they treated before you were filing for disability, you would have said sure. Yeah, it's also like... Yeah, I hope you can get the things you need to get to help with life and all that. But how you doing today, Kitty? I saw you pop in. I'm good? That's good. And again, for those who are just coming in or perhaps didn't hear me say it earlier, we're going to be doing 2 hours of this, and then we'll switch to Skyrim for 2 hours. And I feel like I've eaten enough food, so we will see if I'm going to extend the stream. Actually, I think I missed a spot. There's that decorative trim. Get all this. Okay, what am I missing? What am I missing from the roof underside? I see. There we go. Okay. Roof decorative trim. I'm missing large portions of it, but I'm not seeing where. I see it's in the cracks. Spent pretty much half your day playing the Crew Motorfest unintentionally. Well, as long as you had fun. I'm honestly not seeing the dirt. Am I gonna have to hit it with soap? If that's the case, I gotta go down to this one. This is a bitch, ain't it? It just does not want to get clean. It's less about fun and more about testing it. I see. So you were... Okay. Insider program and all. I see. Maybe I don't. I'm not entirely sure what you mean. Gotta get in the under. The devs set up an insider program you can sign up for to get access to alpha builds of the game to test, so the devs essentially have extra testers and QA on hand to make sure it's actually functional on release. I see. So that's pretty okay. It's like a community test server. And Ubisoft's Ivory Tower's customer service people are the best. They are actually nice. Okay then, well that's one good thing about Ubisoft. Hi Remy, what do you want? There we go. Okay. Two, UB moved the Crew franchise to full AAA status, which means it will be getting all funding it needs. It's no longer one of their small, unique games. I always thought it was a AAA game. Then again, I never really looked into it or played it or was interested in it or anything. So, shows how much I know. Remy, you need to move. You were in the way. Hi, buddy. I'm glad I had that tea with honey. My throat is already feeling better. Hi, what do you want? What are you doing? Leave it alone. I said leave it. Where? What you doing? Yeah, you want some scritches under the chin? Remington. Hi, buddy. Roof trim. Hi, Remy. What do you want? I gotta drink water. Remy, you need to let me do stuff. It was easy to tell there was sacrifices made for the first and second games, likely due to funding. The Crew 2 especially was a lot of quantity and a little less quality. Can't talk about the Crew Motorfest. You'll just say Forza, better watch out. Good competition, I guess. Now, if only Ubisoft could take their other studios, which are talented, but Ubisoft likes to fuck them up. Now, if only Ubisoft could take studios like Ubisoft Paris and produce some good Ghost Recon content. Hi, Remy, please. I want to play my game. I have to pet the cat. I'm trying to get him to calm down before I get water. Don't chew. I'm not mad. I'm not gonna hurt you. You know chewing on me is bad. You know biting is bad. So why'd you try to do it? Press his deactivate button. It's not so much press the deactivate button so much as it is pinch it. Which is, you know, grabbing him by the scruff. Where are you? Do you mind? I would like to play my game. Hey. Yeah, you want these scritches, huh? Thing is, I like Ghost Recon Wildlands and I like Ghost Recon Breakpoint. And most of the gameplay shortcomings of Wildlands are due to not necessarily limitations, but them keeping it basic and streamlined. And it's more of a fun video game than it is a highly structured, mechanically complex game. Yeah, you like these scritches, huh? There. Where there's things about Wildlands that are bad. Mostly, as far as design and gameplay goes, mostly just the fact that Unidad, which is basically like GTA cops, you piss them off enough and they'll keep sending endless waves of increasing difficulty. But they tend to just show up randomly at the worst possible times. So like you could be doing a mission, don't you bite. And I'm not petting you anymore. No, you can't get pets. You tried to bite me because I was trying to pet you. So you don't get any. So like you could be doing a mission, shooting not right next to a highway, but within a reasonable distance of a highway. Because they designed the base being this random base I'm making up that represents bases that exist in the game. They've designed several bases where... Oh, did you shock yourself? You're okay. They've designed several bases in the game to pretty much be right next to a road, since a lot of them are just appropriated areas that they're using for cocaine production or training their Sicarios. So you'll be doing a mission using a suppressor, which suppressors in the game are cartoonish, but when you actually play the game, it actually just feels good. But then Unidad could be like, I just spawned in 400 meters down the road, and I can perfectly hear your suppressed shot, and I'm going to investigate it. Oh, look. The Santa Blanca soldier that you tried to get a headshot on just magically dodged the bullet with a Goku Ki Blast head dodge. So then he immediately detects you, starts sniping you with his dual Uzis. And then, of course, Unidad hears the loud gunfire and goes, like, You're bad. I must send, like, endless waves of enemies at you because the game just decided you would miss. Otherwise, Wildlands is pretty fun, but there are some problems with it that are like, it's not a perfect game like everyone says it is. Which, might I add, that when you quote unquote miss, when the game just decides that they'll just dodge your bullet like they're Goku, when they dodge your bullet like they're Goku, they have like animation invincibility, where if you have several follow-up shots to the upper body / head when they Goku dodge your bullet, they can just keep dodging it. It's like, what is this nonsense? Doesn't usually happen, but when it does, it's extremely frustrating. But it is a mechanically, not simple, but basic game that is fun. And Breakpoint is fun, but has a lot more mechanical problems with the gameplay, simply because the mechanics of the game are more complex. Hold on, I gotta switch nozzles. What are we talking about again? Ghost Recon Wildlands, one of my favored shooters. It's good. I like it, but it's not. Well, I say it's good. I like it, but it's kind of bad. It's just less bad than Ghost Recon Breakpoint, the sequel to it. And I like both Ghost Recon Wildlands and Ghost Recon Breakpoint, but they are both bad games. Both with horrible monetization. Just that people act like Breakpoint's monetization was worse than Wildlands, when it's like, no, it wasn't. Wildlands monetization was and still is much worse. Breakpoint doesn't have loot boxes. Guess what? Wildlands does. And guess what? At least with Breakpoint, the microtransactions and time savers were just in the game at the start. Ubisoft added them post-launch. Not only the microtransactions, but also the time savers and the loot boxes post-launch. Because they didn't expect Wildlands to be a hit. And when they started realizing that it was a success because people liked it, and it is pretty okay, they smelled blood in the water and they just had to go for the throat. So people act like, oh, Breakpoint has the worst monetization of any game. It's like, I don't know, man. Wildlands was way worse. And it's definitely not. The Crew 2 is literally monetized like a free-to-play game. It's not Ivory Tower's fault. That's got to be Ubisoft. I mean, that's just it. Is everyone acts like Ubisoft Paris sucks, and it's like, yeah, they're not an outstanding studio, but when they're actually allowed to go crazy and make stuff that's cool, it is pretty good. Like, when they're allowed to do things, they can produce quality content. Just Ubisoft higher-ups tend to fuck the pie. They like to stick their fingers into pies, and they instead decided they're going to stick their dick into the Ghost Recon pie. They fucked the pie instead of letting it cool so everyone can eat. Hold on. Having some struggle. It's because the scroll wheel on the G502 is really bad. Like, I could nudge it 1 nanometer for half a second, and then the scroll wheel will go, you're scrolling all the way down to the bottom of the page instantly. So when it comes to this game with the scroll wheel, you can change the nozzle with the scroll wheel. So the scroll wheel on the G502 is frustrating. The rest of the mouse is pretty good. I just don't like the scroll wheel. And the thing is, I can unlock the scroll wheel, but then it becomes impossible to use. Because it just has a mind of its own at that point. That sounds like a setting for the mouse. That's just it, is I see all these, like, things online on how, because I've looked it up, like, how to change the settings in the Logitech, you know, mouse software, and it says, do this, do this, do this, and it's like, where are you even seeing that as an option? Because to me, I see, like, not a whole lot of options. Oh, scroll wheel changed my nozzle again, because, like, I didn't even touch the scroll wheel at that time. It just took my scroll wheel. And it's also frustrating because I'll be playing games like Skyrim, and I'll be, you know, because I have a power attack mod that lets me press power attack by just pressing a single button. So I have it bound to right click. So sometimes I'll right click and then the camera will just zoom out. It's like, thanks, mouse. Other than that, the rest of the mouse is great. But the scroll wheel is terrible. It's almost like it doesn't properly work. Could just be... I didn't even touch the scroll wheel and it did that. Meanwhile, I'm trying to select the yellow nozzle and it keeps going past it. Yeah, not a fan of this scroll wheel. It's enough to make me want to buy a different mouse. And I thought I could trust Logitech. That's what I get for putting my faith in a product I've had good experiences in, is of course I have to have problems. Can't ever have anything nice that just works. Can't ever have any piece of technology that just works the way it's supposed to. Nope. Technology sucks. And it's not because it sucks, it's because we design things horribly as humans. So... Once motherfuckers can actually make a good product, then I'll actually start speaking good praise. So yeah, I'm not gonna speak of Logitech highly anymore, because the scroll wheel on this mouse is pretty unusable. Can you bring up the software? I sure can. Oh, that's not the button I want. So I see this as an option, and if I turn it on... Sure. Like, okay, what do I do from here? Like, device settings. I go here. This is kind of the only options I get. Yeah, this is, you know, pretty nondescript. This is like, oh, just change these settings to this without telling anyone how. I could click here and settings, and it's like this is not very... What's the hamburger menu? This is the hamburger menu. There's pretty much nothing here. So I don't know what people say with change the setting to this. It's like, I don't fucking see it. If it's here, it's buried. So, I don't know. The one on the left, I already opened that one. Of course, all the way you had a Logitech mouse, but it died on you. See, that's just it. I don't think this mouse will die on me anytime soon. It's Logitech, and so I trust the durability. It's just settings, and this is what I get. I can't scroll down, can't scroll up. There's mostly because this is just the settings page. My gear. Okay. The UI could be a little bit more readable. What's in there? Again, this is There's not really much here. I can turn the onboard memory on, click on profile 1, and this is the only options I get. Yeah, not impressed. Also, if I have the onboard memory on, my DPI gets set to 0. So I have to turn it off to get my actual DPI setting. There's a details button. I think I remember that just not really being indicative of anything. These I can't click on. Yeah, this is just nothing. This is a nothing software. Is it because this is blocking something, maybe? Like, nope, it sure wasn't. Yeah, not impressed. Yeah, I'm not gonna speak highly of Logitech anymore. I'll speak to their product's durability, and the entirety of the rest of the mouse is very good. But the scroll wheel is not, and so I'm not gonna speak highly of them because it makes my workflow incredibly difficult. And for someone like me, workflow is very important. Granted, I'm too stubborn, so I can live without it. But even just that time I did it on purpose. Even just scrolling up, and I'm trying to get to the yellow mouse, and it's incredibly difficult. Or the yellow nozzle. Like, if I'm just browsing the internet and I scroll down, by one click, it scrolls down like 2 or 3 times, and it's like, thanks. Yep, I literally just lifted the mouse off and put it back on the mouse pad, just to move it, and it switched to the nozzle. Because the scroll wheel sucks. And again, I would just see like, oh, well, maybe the unlocking the scroll wheel will do something about that. Nope, it just makes it incredibly unusable to use the mouse at all whatsoever. Because then it basically has a mind of its own and won't let me have any control. And it's like, oh, you mean with an unlocked scroll wheel, you want to scroll up and down when you move the mouse? No, that's not what that's for. How about we do that anyway and take away your control? It's like, fuck off. I'm just really getting sick and tired of technology just not being good. Like, being low quality. And it's not like this was a cheap mouse. Sure, it was only $50, but the normal price is $80. So I'm very, very frustrated that the fact that I'm spending, you know, my monthly, I hate to say allowance, but it's basically allowance. Spending my monthly allowance on hardware just for it to not work. At least not work properly. Gives me no hope for the future of for the future of electronics. Because things are just going to be lower quality, lower durability, but more expensive for sure. The only thing that'll upgrade is the actual price. And sure, I might sound like a grandpa or an old grognard who doesn't know how technology works. Am I wrong? Are these problems just imaginary? Am I just imagining them? So explain to me how I am misunderstanding this stuff. And people might say, no one said that. I don't know, it's the internet. If I had much more popularity as a streamer, there would be tens of chat members saying that exact thing. You're just being a boomer. No, I think the mouse scroll wheel is just bad. Didn't even touch it. This is making this kind of unplayable. It's like every chance I get to play Power Wash Simulator, something has to happen. Some sort of technical issue that literally shouldn't exist has to come up. Some sort of bewildering, like, technical issue that just comes out of nowhere specifically because, fuck you, you're not allowed to have fun. Of course, it just has to come up, and I'm just not allowed to do anything. Genuinely start struggling to find your exact issue. The issue is, when I kind of move around it, yep, I moved the mouse up, and I landed it. Oh, it did it again. Can it do it again? It's almost like vibrations in the mouse are causing the scroll wheel to, like, move when I'm not even touching it. So, like, if I lift the mouse off because I want to move it to another part of my mouse pad, and I put it back down, not even roughly, this is just normal use. Change the scroll wheel, it moved the scroll wheel, did it again, did it again, did it again, did it again, and I'm doing it very lightly right now, and of course it's not doing it. We'd find someone having an issue with it registering incorrect scroll inputs. Turned out to be dust got in the scroll sensor. You mean to tell me that there's dust in my brand new mouse that I'm gonna have to try and fix because Logitech can't be bothered? I have to wipe their dirty diaper? Boy, I love paying for a product that I have to fix on my own. I might as well have gotten it for free if I have to fix it. Meanwhile, I'm having a hard time with this wall trim. It's possibly because I have to get the underside. I'm just very frustrated with technology lately. Don't underestimate the power of crap finding its way into brand new tech. I suppose so. I mean, I do have a cat. Maybe the moment I opened the mouse box, a fluff of cat hair went in there, but that sounds highly unlikely. Especially since, you know, I'm inspecting the mouse right now. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot of cat hairs sticking out of the different crevices in this thing. So, I suppose I could take my air duster and just kind of blow in it a little. Probably want to disconnect it first. But yeah, I suppose I could. Again, I shouldn't have to. This is brand new. I suppose I'm going to have to, though. I just don't expect the problem to be fixed. And I would return it, but returning things is a hassle. By the way, I did get a 2-year warranty on it. I know enough about technology that it's like, yeah, I'm getting the warranty. And the thing is, I do actually use things like my computer and all that quite a lot. I pretty much use it daily. Not all day, because, you know, I sleep and I eat and I bathe. But I pretty much use my computer stuff daily. For the majority of the day. So I understand that I'm putting quite a lot of wear and tear in my things. Just, I would hope that a brand new mouse doesn't have problems. And of course, you know, after playing for like the last 2 or 3 minutes, I haven't had that issue again. It's probably one of those technical issues of, it shows up, I can't fix it, none of the software helps, nothing I do with the hardware does anything, but the problem just resolves itself and it's fine. Until, of course, it happens again, and then it goes away on its own. It's typically how some of that works. I'm gonna have to ask GP about, GP being Great Paninsky. I have to ask Great Paninsky how his scroll wheel works. Because if my scroll wheel is defective, or if there's anything like dust or cat hair in there already, the dust and cat hair I might be able to blow out with a, you know, with an air can. But if it's defective, I'm gonna return it. Ain't no way I'm gonna, you know, put up with this nonsense. Game. Yep, my nozzle changed again. Welcome in, Puzzle. How you doing today, friend? Assume he's got a G502 then. It's not working right then, yeah. Return it the moment you find it. Yeah. I'm gonna try blowing it out with an air can first. Who knows? Maybe something is loose and the air can will kind of put it back in place. But other than that, it's less frustrating in Skyrim because it's a little smoother. But I've had it during Fallout 4 testing where I'll just kind of barely touch the mouse and then he'll zoom out, which of course changes the camera perspective. What am I doing? What am I working on next? I'm alright, I think. Just having some coffee now and trying to wake up. How's it going with you? Oh, just complaining about horribly low quality technology that costs a lot of money. Because that has to happen to me. That has to happen. You know, I'm not allowed to have a good time. I am having fun playing this game, however. I'm just not having fun with the constant myriad of technical issues. And I suppose if I wasn't streaming, I probably wouldn't even run into these issues. Because it seems like every streamer I know runs into a slew of horrible, gigantic technical issues that normal people probably don't even come across. Okay, we gotta get the trim, so I think we need to get on a ladder. I am having fun with the game, though. And I am taking my frustrations and I'm playing it up for the entertainment value, but I don't know how much I don't know how entertaining me complaining is. Generally, I'd like to think that people don't want to listen to that. But I do play it up sometimes because I find it a little more extra funny that way. However, yesterday when Steam, you know, did what it did, I was genuinely upset. It's like, why? For no reason, Steam? Really? Just for no reason, none of my games are detected, and months of progress. Granted, I didn't play Power Wash Simulator for months, but months of progress is just gone. Really? Now, like I said, I have no issue redoing some of the levels, because the game is fun and relaxing. I really like it, so I have no problem redoing the levels. It's just, I did this fucking level before. I don't mind, but I'm pissed. I'm not actually that pissed, but I'm pissed. Streamer luck, yeah. There's streamer luck, and then there's streamer luck. What did Steam do? Basically, yesterday, because I know I installed the games on my D drive into the proper folder, because I specifically went out of my way to make sure my games were installed, because the E drive was failing as a gaming drive. So I'm like, okay, well, let's move everything to the D drive. But my regular Steam install was on the E drive, so I'm like, okay, well, let's just move everything over. Moved everything over, re-downloaded Power Wash Simulator, Skyrim, Fallout 4, and the Skyrim and Fallout 4 creation kits, respectively. Whatever. Okay, I did my due diligence. They're downloaded. And then yesterday, after I restarted my PC before I went live, because that's the thing I do now, I restart the PC, and it does help. My games weren't detected by Steam anymore. Despite in the actual proper folder, the files were there. And none of the files were missing. Just Steam forgot that I went out of my way specifically to install those files. And that was after I reinstalled Steam proper to the D drive. So I had to spend like the first 30 to 45 minutes re-downloading and installing Power Wash Simulator, because I'm like, oh, well, it's only 6 gigabytes. It's like, I'm going to drop a ton of frames, but it won't be for that long. Because I'm like, well, if I can't play Skyrim today being yesterday, whatever, I can just download it off stream and get it working just fine. And it's not like downloading a new version of Skyrim is going to cause too many problems, because I have a backup in my stock game folder that is what MO2 is using. So it's not that big a deal. Whatever. Excuse me, whatever. So I'm like, okay, well, let's just play Power Wash Simulator. I open the game, and this is the level I'm on, despite the fact that I am several levels beyond this, and I was just about to finish a huge map where you have to clean a volcanic temple, and it is and the bigger maps tend to take a long time to finish, and it can be quite exhausting, but when you're done, it's like, oh, good, it's done, yay! Like, I did 17% of that level, because in the top left, you can see it's like 66%. I did 17% of the volcanic temple off stream, and then I did 2 hours on stream, and then I was gonna pretty much, if I could guess, I would be doing the last 2 hours, or maybe not even the full 2 hours, but I'd be doing the last bit of that stage and possibly moving on. But no, my progress has been lost. For some reason. So, yesterday, because I was already white hot angry because of the technical issues where my games just weren't installed, despite the fact that they were installed, I'm like, okay, well, we're not playing Power Wash Simulator today then, today being yesterday, and I'm going to have to sit here and download Skyrim, which thankfully it's only like 12 gigabytes. It's not really that big of a game. I'm gonna have to sit here and install Skyrim and continue to drop frames because I'm downloading a game. And luckily, Skyrim didn't lose any save progress, likely because the saves are being stored in my, or maybe not the saves themselves, but they're being stored in some sort of profile thing with MO2, whatever. But I thought, like, well, it's possible that I could lose my save data for Skyrim, for my Bard character, and if that's what's gonna happen, I'm gonna be a little upset. Little being, not... it's like that's an understatement. I would be a little upset. Upset would be an understatement. And pretty much I would just have to immediately start modding the game again for my Lawbringer run, because I wasn't gonna do a 200th Bard run, because I've been trying for so many months to get the Bard run off the ground. And now that I have a stable mod list, and I can finally do it, I was going to be a little upset if I would have lost all that progress. Luckily, it was just Power Wash Simulator. The other PC games that aren't installed losing progress, whatever. I'm not even playing them currently, so I'd rather start over anyways. And again, I have no issues with Power Wash Simulator, or starting over. Not starting over, but losing progress in Power Wash Simulator, because the game is fun. I do enjoy it. It's really fun to clean all this again. And having said that, I was even contemplating possibly completing the game and then deleting my save data anyway so I can start over. Because it's fun. But I was already white-hot angry from dealing with the technical issues. So, anyways, let's catch up on chat. I'd feel the same. I'd still do it, but I'd grumble the whole time. It's possibly a cache file or something screwed up things because it didn't match what was actually present. Steam never struck me as a software where you can just safely move around between drives and partitions without it getting unhappy. Well, that's just it. I did all the proper things. I uninstalled it. Not deleted it, but I think I did delete it, actually. But I uninstalled it off the E drive, and I reinstalled it onto the D drive. It's like, okay, Steam is up and running. We're all good to go. Let me start downloading games into the D drive in the same folder where the Steam install is, because Steam, I have, of course, fucking Steam, because when I tried installing it previously, it was like, oh, you can't install to the empty Steam folder. It needs to be not a root drive and empty. It's like, it's not in the root drive. It's not, it is empty. So I had to make a new folder called fucking Steam, which comedy dictates that, of course, Steam says that folder is just fine to install to, so that's pretty funny. But I had that folder structure because it still wanted to install to the E drive, so I'm like, no, install to the D drive into this folder, which was, of course, there. So I did that. Did my due diligence to re-download and install the games, and I know I did it because I had to go out of my way to do it, because the technical issues of the E drive was already stressing me out, so I pretty much remember being betrayed by technology, yet again, and that I had to go out of my way to re-download the games, and then Steam was like, nope, they're not there, you didn't do that, and like, great. Remembering the size of games before we add mods throws you off a ton. Yes, that's kind of why I might have to move my Fallout 4 install off the D drive and into cold storage. Not my E drive, that thing is probably on its, maybe not on its way out, but I might have to shuck it soon before it completely fails. What am I trying to do? Right, it's right click to stop the auto spray. Because it's right click to start it. It's not necessarily right click to stop it. It's just, you know, right clicking is one of the ways to stop it. So I was confused on the controls, especially since they added the aim mode, which is C, which is this. I get to play like I'm on a Wiimote mode. Programs can leave behind random crap after an uninstallation, so maybe that's what happened. Possibly. And I'd like to think it was user error. And possibly it is. Maybe it is user error that I didn't do my due diligence to properly delete the Steam folder on the E drive after uninstallation. The only thing is, I shouldn't have to. So I don't really think it's user error, even though most computer software problems are usually user error. And I make plenty of user errors, judging by how I do things in Xedit and how many problems I have to fix after testing it in game, which, you know, I do test, so I'm doing my due diligence to make sure it's working. But judging how many user errors I make in Xedit, it's like, yeah, I can make plenty of user errors. But also technology should just fucking work, maybe. Maybe things should just fucking work. And again, the other Steam games that I have that I could possibly lose save data for, it's like, they're not installed for a reason. I'm not playing them currently, so if I have to start over, whatever. I'm probably going to start over anyways. Now, it does mean that until I get my SSD, that I can't really, well, can't play it regardless if I'm going to stream it or not. I can't really play Ghost Recon Wildlands or Breakpoint or really any other game until I get the SSD. Unless I uninstall, and it wouldn't even be uninstalling Skyrim because, like I said, Skyrim is like 12 gigs. It would have to be removing my MO2 install for Skyrim. Guess how many gigabytes that is? It's like 300 to 400 gigabytes of the MO2 install. Alright, I need to switch arms here. Maybe even go to this one. Oh, not that one. Ah. Ah. I want that. That's clean. It's always the nooks and crannies. That's kind of like each stage has its own, like, not really hidden or secret, but you start to learn like what each stage does. Like this is more of a vertical stage with lots of cracks and nooks and crannies that you gotta clean, so it's very detail oriented. Where some of the stages is just, it's not very detail oriented, but it's a huge fucking stage, so you've got a lot to clean. So I kind of like that about this game. There goes my nozzle again. Come on, give me the yellow nozzle. There we go. I'm finally warming up. Might have to actually start removing blankets. I just don't want to remove the blankets on my legs because I know that my legs will get cold and then I'll have to grab a blanket again. It's a bit of a rough day in Wisconsin as far as weather is concerned. Cold, it's snowy. I don't know if it's... No, it's still snowing. We're still getting snow. I don't think it's gonna stop for a while either. I do enjoy snow, though, and I much prefer it being cooler than warmer. It's just, I don't need it to be miserably cold, especially in my living space. But it's not too bad. I can tell my throat is already being like, you've talked too much. Man, you never shut up. Okay, where's all the dirt now? Oh, thank you for the hydrate. We'll get to that. It's under here. There we go. Alright, let's get that hydrate. Oh man, we only got about half an hour left of this too. And I can't really dedicate an entire stream to this either, because I feel like I would still have to stream Skyrim. It's Axel Mount, so we don't want to do that just yet. Not that I feel obligated to, it's just part of the routine. And also part of it is, especially from others, judging from what other Skyrim streamers get for viewership. Sometimes it's like you don't stream Skyrim and then you don't have anyone here. Which is also, you know, another reason for me to feel comfortable streaming another game for at least half the stream, because then it's like, whatever, we'll still get to Skyrim. People are willing to wait, I would like to think. And the active chatters, you guys are here no matter what I'm doing. It's just the average Twitch audience is very fickle, which is fine. That's not really a complaint. It's just an observation, really. As long as you're having fun, I don't care what you play. And I do, of course, have fun when people are being in chat very kind to each other and me. It's also why I'm glad I don't necessarily have a bigger audience. Despite my complaints. Despite my many complaints about not growing, in ways I am glad that I don't have a bigger audience. Because we are just too wholesome. There's no fall damage in this game, is there? No. There's no damage in this game. You literally do a mission on Mars for a bonus stage. And it's not like you have a whole lot. I mean, your cosmetics might change. But when this game first came out, especially, I think, since Mars was one of the really early stages that was added post-launch. Okay, I gotta back up. Might actually have to go on this side and get a longer extension. I don't know if it changes your cosmetic, but back then there was no cosmetics, so you were just kind of a floating bean, if you will, with a glove in first person. There isn't flung yourself off tall things and laughed about the lack of fall down. I'll show you right now. Oh, I didn't get any momentum on that one. Let me try that again. You can get quite a bit of... That time I, of course, jumped. You can get quite a bit of hang time, and I've jumped off this thing before. This was a previous stage. I had to clean this. This isn't open world, it's just they meticulously craft their stages so that it's a callback to earlier stages. I've cleaned this, and I've fallen off of that, and it's I mean, you still get that, like, oh shit, I'm falling kind of feeling. Like, your nuts will go into your stomach. But... No, there's no damage, no fall damage or anything. Would be kind of interesting, though, if there's, like, a challenge where it's, like, don't fall. Because there is challenge mode. Floating bean with a glove is the best way to describe Skyrim's movement system. I guess you could say kind of the first-person systems, too, since the only things that are rendered in first-person generally tend to be the arms. Like, they generally don't tend to render much in first-person for the character model. Not that I need it to, but it's a neat thing to add mods like improved camera so you can have a proper first-person body. And I guess it's also a thing of, like, Bethesda's not going to develop a framework so that within a week of a new game being released that someone makes a boobie mod and then they can stare down at their boobs. Ha ha ha, I have boob. Ha ha ha. That kind of thing. As much as booba is nice, and I'll touch on this in a moment, a similar part of the topic, just not exactly booba related. As much as booba is nice, it's also nice to just have a game where it's not really the focus. Now, the other related part of that topic I want to get into is I love mods. I love mods that drastically change Skyrim into a completely different game that still somehow plays like Skyrim. Like, for instance, I love all of the medieval, historically accurate, realistic armor and weapon mods that I'd love to add. I don't want the series to change to fit that. I don't even want the engine to change. I want the engine to improve, but a different engine, like if they switched to Unreal Engine, say, 5, I don't think the game would be as moddable. And I think that would be not only a death sentence for Bethesda, but for anyone advocating for them to switch to Unreal Engine 5, it's like, I don't know, that would kind of ruin the modding community, and people would just continue to play Morrowind, Skyrim, Oblivion, Daggerfall. They wouldn't really play the new game, which is bad for Bethesda and the community. So, I very much love having the medieval mods, but I don't want the game to change to fit that. I want it to continue to be generic fantasy that is easily moddable. I always appreciate when body models exist, so I'm not just floating hands with a gun. I don't think we'll ever be able to remove the Skyrim out of Skyrim. Yeah, and that's kind of why I like. I'll touch on that in a moment. If they go the easy route with, as in your example, switch to Unreal Engine, then yeah, but they can make it just as moddable. I don't know, though. Like, think of all the modders who are so used to the creation engine, who, like, if they switch engines, they're like, yeah, we're not modding. We're not going to take the effort to learn this new engine. We're just going to not mod anymore. I suppose that's on them, but it's also like, it's also on Bethesda if they changed engines. And of course, we know they're not. I'm just saying that there are people advocating for Bethesda to switch to Unreal Engine 5, and I don't know how I feel about that. Like, actually, I know how I feel about that. I think you guys know how I feel about that too after my explanation just then. I don't want it to change. I want it to still be the creation engine. Improved creation engine. Maybe a complete overhaul to the creation engine. But I still want it to be the creation engine. It's also like, you know, when Distar is a mod author who makes actually pretty good mods, but is otherwise kind of a fucking dickhead, as the best mod authors tend to be, crazy assholes who are very problematic. They tend to make very good work, apparently. He has this little, like, cultish, like, tagline he likes to say. What's boring in Skyrim? Skyrim, let's make it a different game. It's like, just... like, 1, that's not possible. 2, that sounds like you're trying to get people to follow you like a cult. And not everything in Skyrim, as far as animations and movesets, has to be Elden Ring. Or Elden Ring. I said Elden Ring. Elden Ring is the Skyrim mod. Not everything has to be Elden Ring, or Dark Souls, or Bloodborne. It's Skyrim, not any other of those other games. Stop trying to make it into Dark Souls. And the thing is, I've actually kind of been interested in some of the Dark Souls stuff for Skyrim, and I have used a Souls-like mod for Skyrim in the past that I actually continue to say, to this day, is quite a fun mod to play, and that is Inpa Sekiro. Of course, influenced and directly intentionally designed to be like Sekiro, which is, of course, a Souls-like. Distar is French, yeah. As a person with French lineage, I can joke about the French being like that. And it's not just that he's an asshole, but from what I know from Mugi, uh, and I might be misquoting her, so don't take it like she actually said it. You know, ask her first. But I think I've heard her say that his Discord is filled with racist assholes that freely use a certain word. Yeah, not a big fan of that. Am I going to use his mods? Possibly. Probably not DMCO because it doesn't work in first person. And I'm kind of a stickler for playing in first person. Where is the dirt here? Where is the dirt? Show me. Pull out your cock. I am not seeing the dirt. Doesn't help there's like yellow and orange and gold, and of course the dirt will easily hide on that. Is it like on the very top where I can't get to? This is where the dirt finder helps. Even though it's not very immersive. But then again, this game's not a simulator. It just got simulator in the title. Where is the dirt? Is it like on the base? Perhaps? Base of the columns? Let's see. The thing about Souls combat is every game is doing it. That's just the modern approach right now. Bake movement data into the attack animations. Hell, even GTA San Andreas does it. Honestly, I don't really care about people using this or that words. It's just words. In a way, I agree, but it's also kind of like... It's also kind of like, really? Distar, you're gonna foster a community that's, full of racist assholes? Because it's not even so much the word as it is the intention and free usage of that word so casually in a community. It leads me to believe that not only is the community not very positive, it's probably extremely toxic. Talking about his Discord server, not the entire atmosphere around his mods. His mods are good and there's plenty of good people who use them. But it also leads me to believe that the people administrating his server, if not himself, are fostering this sort of behavior, and that is not something I want to engage in. Nor will I be okay with it. I'm not saying Distar himself is racist. What I am saying is he's got problems, and he doesn't have to fix it for my sake, but that just might mean that I don't get to speak well of him. And judging by how he tends to act, he might actually care about how I think about him, despite the fact that he really shouldn't. It's just he's probably incredibly insecure. I still can't find the fucking dirt on this thing. Okay, I'm gonna have to, like, use soap, because I can't find it. Do I not have a... Right, I don't have a soap nozzle for this. And I'm like, not to get into the topic of politics, so we'll squash this conversation right after I say it. But as far as political leanings about culture identities and all that, I'd like to think I'm fairly liberal thinking. I just tend to call out bullshit when I see it. Not because I fly the blue flag, I am a bleed blue, vote no matter who Democrat. No. I just call out bullshit where I see it. Regardless of political affiliation or culture identification. If people are being shitty, I'm gonna say they're being shitty. Context very much matters. Oh, let's see here. You don't want to come to Bulgaria, then we use many words for certain ethnicities that could be considered as racial slurs. Remy is blocking the screen. Even when the intention is anything but to be racist. Context very much matters. Of course context matters, and that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. You know, I don't blindly follow liberal thinking. And that's where we'll end that conversation. Speaking of Skyrim mods and along the lines of Distar's mods for like MCL, what do you think you're doing? You know you can't lay on the keyboard, silly. What are you doing? Are you having a good time? Remy is, of course, here to make sure we don't talk about politics or culture war or any of that nonsense. He is here to lay all over the keyboard. Here, can I move the keyboard? Here, come on. We may have to pay attention to Remy for a little bit. I'm gonna have to play with one hand here. Let's talk about cat politics and how cats are assholes. I don't know, it's kind of an asshole thing of him to lay on the keyboard, but he's also being very cute, aren't you, buddy? Yeah. That's why I'm playing with one hand, because, well, one, if I put my hand on the keyboard, it'll be too close to his face, and he will try to bite me. But also I have my hand on his rump to kind of keep him company. I'm probably gonna have to refill my wood cleaner very soon. There we go. And that's why soap is good. Because you can, get to where you can kind of clean the things you can't find. I remember this stage kind of being a cunty stage. There's using painful words again that I probably shouldn't use, but I don't really care. Hypocrisy! I pretty much have to play with one hand. So I have to take my hand off the mouse, and then put it on the keyboard, and then take it off the keyboard and get back on the mouse. Welcome in, Vescu. Hope you're doing well. Hope I don't run out of wood cleaner. And this is why I don't want to use cleaner a whole lot, because you get a limited amount, and then the in-game store, which is just, you get in-game dollary dues, and you spend it on the in-game stuff. Like, the in-game store won't repopulate with cleaners until you finish more stages. So I don't want to use up all my cleaning fluid when I should just be able to get this dirt just fine. And the thing is, I can finish this stage at any point. They pay me based on how much I clean. I do want to clear the stage, just so it's 100% done. But I cannot find the soap on the staircase handrail. I've used the dirt finder. I tried using soap just now. It's not working. I could just try this where I do, you know, down here. Yes. Doing fine. Enjoyed yourself some new content in Baldur's Gate 3. Ooh. As someone in a relationship with an Australian, I can safely say that cunt is the best word. Yes. It certainly has a bit more of a sting if you're not Australian or British. And even so, I think Australian is a little more acceptable to use the word cunt than it is for Britoids. Is it like underneath the globes, but along the parallel of where I am currently? I just can't for the life of me find the dirt. And I would just play with one hand, or two hands, but again, Remy is wanting to lay on the keyboard, and he wants to be very close to me because he cares about me. Is it maybe because it's counting both, isn't it? No, because this one is clean. And this one is not. Fucking awesome, mate. You fucking dog shite cunt. Come on, you. Do you want to get up now? No? Okay. This also reminds me that, I think, the the video where this one guy is being arrested. He's being arrested for a crime he never committed. Like, they thought he was he thought he was like Interpol or something. Like, you know, where he's like a wanted international criminal. And they pull him out of a Chinese restaurant. And it's filmed. This is like decades ago. It's being filmed. And he's like getting shoved into the car, but he's like resisting. And he goes, oh, this is democracy manifest. Yes. And I'm like, because it sounded like such a British accent. But he's like Australian. So I always thought he was British, but nope, he's Australian. Get your hands off my penis! Are you here to receive my limp penis? There is dirt here, but that's not part of the handrail. This is the handrail. It's the pillars or posts with the globes, with the banister. But this is not part of this piece, because this one is clean. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, it's clean. You can see it there. This one is not, and I can't find the dirt. Do not move. Okay. Welcome in, Emo. How you doing today? The very beginning of the handrail at the wagon on the outside. Again, I have to maneuver with one hand because Remy is in the way. What a time to join in. Lou talking about penis. Yes. On the outside. If you're talking about this here, this is shadow. It's in the shadow. Yeah, that's just the shadow of this entry corbel. Maybe it's like really in there. Nope. Just shadow. Yeah, this game's not it's not very graphically impressive. Which, thank God, my GPU is only at 42%. Oh, Remy. Aww. He's like putting his head on my chest. Hi, buddy. Yes, put your paw on me. That's a good boy. Would you like me to scoot in so you can stick your head on my chest? Okay. Well, I'm gonna scoot in. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to pinch your paw. Come on. It could be bugged. The game did get an update. Maybe the update with my Steam reinstallation fucked my save progress. Again, I don't have to clear this stage. I have $519.04 for cleaning 86%. I'm still going to clean the rest of it, but I need to switch parts. And again, I'm playing with one hand, so it's not very easy. This is like as a kid, spraining your wrist from doing some extreme sports thing, and then playing your Game Boy with one hand. Which I did learn to do because I sprained my wrist from riding my bicycle. And I couldn't go to school because it was my right hand that I sprained my wrist on, and it was extremely painful to do things like write. So I couldn't write. So my parents are like, yeah, you're not... Well, it's not so much my parents said you're not going to school. It's just, I'm like, I can't write. My hand hurts too much. So they kind of had to, you know, keep me at home for like 2 or 3 days while it healed up. At least healed up to a point that it didn't hurt so much to write. So at that time, I played my Game Boy with one hand, and I learned how to do it. Not easy, and I wouldn't do it again, but it's not too bad. That was the dirt? Wait, where? I didn't even notice. Was it literally underneath the post on the actual staircase model? That sucks. Oh, well, I got it, so I can complete the stage. It was the base of the first post. The wooden cunts. Yeah, these guys are cunts. staircase handrail ends on the wooden block. Oh, man. Oh, Remy is purring. He's a happy baby. Please don't bite. Okay, I gotta maneuver here. And I think I've used up my monthly allotment of the cunt word, so I'm gonna probably not say it so much now. Can I? Nope, I can't do that with right control. I have to use left control, which means I risk getting bitten by Remy. Because my hand touched his nose, which is in prime biting location. He's a happy kitty, though. He's purring so much. See, he just wanted to be near me. I don't think he wasn't being an asshole. He just wanted to be right next to me. Because he loves me, I think. And there's a whole underside to this that I need to do. Oh, don't bite, please. I literally can't use WASD now. Come on, Bubba, lay down. Lay your head down. I might have to actually, like, not take a break as in get up and stretch and all that, but like take a break and you know, sit here and chat with y'all. Because I can only play with the mouse right now, which means I cannot move. And I can't change stance from standing, crouching, and prone. Yeah, you're a happy kitty, aren't you? Alright, well, let's just sit here and chat then. I can't really change categories either because, well, Remy is in the way. Aren't you, buddy? So happy. Oh, you gonna get up? Nope, you're just getting your claw free. Oh, you're getting up? Never mind then. Oh. Such a happy kitty. Okay, he's had enough. I think he's gonna go get some food. Okay, so never mind. Cats are never in the way. You are in the way. Exactly. He wanted to lay on the keyboard, not because he wanted to lay on the keyboard, but because the keyboard was in the way, and that wasn't going to stop him. Okay, I think I can switch back to... Oh. Guess I could pick that one. I still don't know how to change my actual suit. My cleaning suit. I mean, granted, I can't see it, but I don't know how to change it. Maybe the clothing tab? Oh, well, yeah, there probably is a clothing tab. Right. I didn't buy any cosmetics because... Or, I have, but... But I bought some the last time I played, which had more progress, so I don't have those cosmetics anymore. I have some for the gloves, but... Yeah. Oh, now I'm starting to get hot. Alright, time for the blankets to come off. Okay, I can see the underside of the cross section. There we go. Let's see it a little bit better there. I think it's also like I didn't know how to change the clothing because I think I actually have to be in a stage in order to change clothing. Like if I'm just on the main game menu, I don't think it'll let me. Because the menu to get there is this menu, and you can't open that menu when you're in the main menu. So it's a little unorthodox that a game with cosmetics couldn't be accessed in some sort of menu except in the menu that you open when you're actually in game. So it's a little confusing to me. Where like in Ghost Recon Breakpoint, I can't change my cosmetics on the main menu, because of course I can't. But when I'm in game, there's actually like an actual dedicated menu for quote unquote pausing the game. Although when you're co-op, it doesn't pause. So in my little brain, it says like, oh, you've halted the game to get into a menu. So now the world will stop so you can be in your menu. Where this, the contextual menu, is more like a message box in Skyrim, where it pops up in the game, but it's not actually a dedicated menu. It's just the menu that comes up when you're still like in world. Actually, I need to clean up this axle mount. So my little brainlet can't handle that. The game does it differently. Come on, clean it up. There we go. Also, we're almost done, so I'm going to continue to go past the 2 hours to finish this, because we're 93% of the way clean. So I figured I'd just finish it. Okay. Where's the dirt? Here, I see some of it. Oh, I'm definitely not anywhere close to being done. I'm just gonna finish the underside then, because I just noticed this stuff over here needs clean too. So yeah, we'll go. The underside is now clean. I just need to check one more thing. Okay, that is indeed clean. So we're gonna save the rest of this for next time, which will be, of course, tomorrow, and then we'll switch to Skyrim. Okay. All right. Okay, well. Oh, I see my display capture was still on. Yay for using more resources. I think I'm gonna need to make some coffee. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna switch to Skyrim. I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording, so while I'm switching over, that recording will get remuxed.